Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nice, France. 5 incredible days. It's Worlds Week. Brian David-Marshall, how excited are you, my friend?
You know what? I would jump up and down, but I need to conserve my energy to get through this week. There's a lot of Magic that we need to cover.
There really is. We will remind you now that there is a World Magic Cup coming your way on Friday and Saturday and Sunday with 72 national teams. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to tell you about the Magic the Gathering World Championship. 24 incredible players, BDM.
Yeah, you don't see a tournament like this where every single round is just like an all-star game matchup, right? It's just the best players from the last year of Magic all competing to be the world champion. It's unbelievable Magic across 4 formats. I can't wait to see it.
Well, let's talk about the formats because there's a lot of info to get through. So we begin tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, with VMA. Someone asked me what the A stood for. This is Vintage Masters Draft.
Yeah, and what's really unique about this Vintage Masters Draft is that these packs were generated. This is a Magic Online only format. These packs were generated in Magic Online and then physically created, sleeved, and sealed up. So these guys are going to be drafting. You know, if there's a Black Lotus in a pack, it is going to be an actual Black Lotus.
They don't get to keep them, do they?
They do not get to keep them. They go to the coverage staff, actually, after the event.
Sweet. Wow, I'm going to be looking at that first pick. Okay, so after 3 rounds of Vintage Masters, what comes next?
Well, then we're going to go to Modern. And this is a format that, you know, the players are, you know, I don't want to say nervous about, but, you know, they're like, boy, do I hope, you know, 4 rounds. They're like, boy, do I hope I get this right. You know, Treasure Cruise, you know, Murderous Cut, you know, Dig Through Time. We've seen all of these cards from Khans of Tarkir have, you know, an impact on very, you know, Jeskai Ascendancy. All have an immediate impact. Monastery Swift Spear, et cetera, et cetera. They're like, I don't know which way things are pulling. Will my deck that I know really well be affected? It's going to be. When I was doing interviews with players, it was the format that they were all most like, boy, I hope I get this right.
Okay, so that's Modern. Then we go to day 2. So that's Wednesday. Rounds 8, 9, and 10. It's back to the drafting table, a format we know well, Khans of Tarkir.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, rapidly climbing up everyone's charts as all-time great draft format, right? I mean, it's just, it's on the short list already. And, you know, you watch, you know, the great players drafted. It's kind of amazing. We just got done with a Grand Prix in Ottawa, and, you know, watching Sam Black drafted, I was like, well, I'd never seen that before, right? I watched him draft a 3-0 deck, and it was just like, I never saw a deck like that before. 5-color Leaping Master. Okay, sure, that's Khans of Tarkir for you, folks.
Right. So then we get to our final constructed format of the weekend. It's straight standard.
Yeah, you know, Patrick Chapin in an interview called this one of the best standard formats of all time. I've heard multiple players, you know, express similar sentiment. You know, this is, we normally see standard at the Pro Tour in its first week, but this, you know, we've had a Pro Tour, we've had multiple Grand Prix. So we're going to really see, you know, standard and what these players bring to tackle, you know, how they process all this known information about the format. I'm really excited to see it. And I know there's some sweet brews out there, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At the end of 14 rounds, the top 4, not top 8, it's different. Remember, there's only 24 players in this tournament. Top 4 return to do battle in best 3 out of 5 semi-final and final action. It'll be standard again on Sunday.
And we're going to see every single one of those semi-final and final matches, right?
Of course, absolutely we will. We're going to show you some other things on Sunday as well, but that's the World Magic Cup. Back to the World Championship. So why don't we see, let's just take a look at what's on offer in terms of prizes and also pro points, because pro points kind of make prizes.
They really do. Players get a pro point for each win in the Swiss rounds. So
9 and 5, that's better than winning a Grand Prix.
Yes,
or
it is.
pretty much the same, yeah.
Well, it's even better because it's, you know, very exclusive pro points. Only 24 players have access to them. And, you know, and as you know from Reed Duke's, you know, unfortunate turn at the Players' Championship where he, you know, finished dead last, that one win that he got, you know, towards the end of the tournament made all the difference for him the next year. in terms of getting to platinum.
It was that platinum point.
Yeah.
Ultimately, a match that would never be on camera, right down the bottom end of the tournament, but his absolute magic life rested on that round. That's a story that could still happen this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, for the World Championship.
By the way, there's still $50,000 on the line for first place.
A mere $50,000. All right, so why don't we get you to the 24? Who are these 24 giants of the game? Well, let's take a look at our big board and show you. Oh, by the way, those are the sets in Modern. You said they were nervous. There's why.
Right.
Where's the cards that we want there? There's that. There's Lorwyn. There's 10th. There's 5th. There's Khan's Attack here at the top. Yeah, good reason to be nervous for these 24. Let's take a look. Here we go. So we begin with 2013-14 Player of the Year, Dezani. 2013 Magic World Champion, Shahar Shenhar. World Cup winning team captain, Raf Levy. The Rookie of the Year, Ray Perez. Then Pro Tour winners, Born of the Gods, McLaren. Journey into Nyx, Chapin. Magic 2015, Flock. And your Magic Online champion, Lars Dam. That's just a third of the field. But who do you like here?
It's hard to not like Jeremy Dezani, the way he's been playing, just at the top of the game right now. I like the Player of the Year, but he's a dream chaser. He's got 2 events to deal with. He's also going to be in the World Magic Cup, so that could divide his attention. But I have a lot of faith in Jeremy.
Okay, Shahar Shenhar looking to defend his title that he famously won over Reed Duke. Why don't we take a look at our next 8 in the 24. So you've got Owen Turtenwild, a former Player of the Year. There is Reed Duke, last year's runner-up. Willie Adel from Brazil. Paula Vita Dama de Rosa. They're your Latin American duo. Down the bottom here, we've got Li Shi Chan from the new Asia-Pacific powerhouse MTG Mint card. The same Nun Sung Wook. Awesome Magic Online player. Yu Watanabe, double Player of the Year. Yuki Ichikawa, 2 Pro Tours in 5 goes. PDM, the goodness keeps on coming.
Yeah, it's hard to pull against Yuya Watanabe. This is someone who's played in all the Players' Championship, last year's World Championship, and this year's World Championship. He's a fixture at these events. Has a second place finish. Has a first place finish. He was the original Players Champion, where he won Player of the Year.
Right.
So he knows how to win this event.
And those 2 Japanese players testing together, I believe, as well as someone we'll see in a moment as we check out numbers 17 to 24 of our 24. Let's take a look. You've got Stanislav Sivka, Pro Tour champion, Hall of Fame, Billy Jensen, Josh Utter-Layton from Team Channel Fireball, another Player of the Year, Tom Martell, the Gate Crash champion, then Paul Rietzel, newly into the Hall of Fame, Sam Black, world-noted deck builder, Jacob Wilson, so close in the past 12 months to a Pro Tour title, and the 3rd Japanese player, the wild card, if you will, from the Japanese squad, Kentaro Yamamoto.
I think Yamamoto has a lot of, can do a lot more than people may be expecting of him. I think, he's certainly not the most recognized name among even the Japanese players. But if I'm looking at this slide, I'm looking at William Jensen.
Right.
That's the guy to me right now. He's just into the Hall of Fame last year, and just over the course of the season, you saw him just regaining his strength. He was one of the most dominant players in the game early on in his career. Had stepped away for a while. To get back into the Hall of Fame, was playing a lot, and by the end of last year was just seemed unstoppable to me.
So whisper it quietly, because I know this is someone else who would themselves whisper it quietly. They'd say, I think I have a reasonable chance of doing quite well. But I know you're very sweet on Josh Utter-Layton for this tournament.
Absolutely. Josh is another player who's been here all 3 years that this has been going on. He is one of the most, somehow, he's one of the most underrated players on the Pro Tour. Do you know what I mean? He's just, you almost forget about him because he is so quiet. But, 4 formats that require play testing and preparation, and they're all available on Magic Online. Who better than Josh Utter-Layton to just completely dissect 4 formats? I don't know that there's anyone in that field who enjoys play testing as much as Josh Utter-Layton.
Well, his team, because all these groups have split off into little testing groups, he's in with the Brazilians, Paolo and Willie. He's in with Tom Martell. He's in with Shahar Shenhar. So that's the sort of combined CFB. We talk about CFB and CFB Pantheon. This is the 5 CFBs together. Peach Garden Oath, of course, will be together. It's going to be an incredible 4 formats. And then you get the World Magic Cup before we do Sunday. And on Sunday, you'll see the best 3 out of 5 semi-final 1, semi-final 2. You'll see all 3 to 5 games of the final, plus a Magic World Cup champion. It is just going to be an incredible 5 days, Worlds Week. It does not get better than this. Brian David-Marshall, showtime.